All right. Just want to welcome everybody to Pellet Podcast, episode number 6. Today is June 10th, 2014. We are now in the midst of E3. Day 1 was yesterday. Day 2 is today. I'm your co-host, Davench. I'm here with my brother, AkimboMerc. Say what's up.
What up, baby?
E3. We in the midst of the beginning. Everything looking sparkly and shiny.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I got to admit, I'm really excited about what's going on. So let's get into it, man. Xbox conference. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, yesterday Microsoft they presented their conference. They pretty much held up to everything that they said that they were going to do. Games. Go ahead.
No, and then more games. I was just going to add on to that, man. Hey, I got to applaud Microsoft, man. I was very impressed walking away from this conference. The presentation was tight. The stage was tight. The background was tight. I do have a complaint. Wouldn't be a show without me complaining. So let me get that first complaint out the way, and we can go. I love the stage. I love the presentation, the colors. I love how they had the audience in there with the different wristbands on that would change colors.
Yeah, that was tight.
Yeah. As the different video game show, I cannot get into having like a player come out and stand on stage with a controller in his hand, man.
But I like it because they want it used to be a lot of fraud going on way back in the day where they would show a game and it wasn't really the game. So this is just their way of saying, this is us playing the game. This is how it's going to look when you play it.
You know what? I didn't think about that, Jay. So that does make sense. That eliminates, we got this buffed up trailer that we're showing you.
Yep.
Yeah, you're playing on this super duper engine that when you, again, get the bait and switch thing kind of gets eliminated with that. But here's my suggestion. Video game players usually play their video game, in their setup. So it might be their living room or their basement or something like that. Let's put that on the stage, man. Let's put them at home. Let's make the gamers look like they're at home. Put them on a screen or something. Add a little atmosphere to it, to the stage. That's all I was saying. That's what I was thinking they could do. Just switch it up a little bit, man.
They've done that in the past where they'll have the fake living rooms and they'll have people that the actors and all that stuff, and it doesn't play out original. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't look as real as you would think it would be. You'd be better off having it literally in somebody's living room if you was gonna go that direction.
Oh man, that would be nice. I don't need no fake actors. I don't need no acting, no extra show. But a living room setup of some sort would be kind of sweet, just to kind of give it that feel. But if they've done this in the past and it flopped, then just kind of stay away from it, especially if they're using actors. Yeah,
it just doesn't feel authentic. I think show me I think the way Microsoft did it. First off, in my opinion, out of the 3, I think Microsoft had the best presentation this year. I think they presented everything the best. Not to say they had the best games, but they had the best presentation. Where at the end of that conference, I was like, man, that was really good. They did exactly what I needed them to do.
When we say we talk about the big 3, right?
Yep.
Nintendo and Sony. I haven't seen their two yet.
Okay.
So let's just focus on Xbox today. I'm gonna do my review of Sony and Nintendo tomorrow, and then the day after. So our plan, listeners, is to bring you a separate show for each of the big 3. That way, if you're a big Xbox fan, you can focus just on what Xbox is showing you, and then the same for Sony and Nintendo. I have peeked and saw little stuff about Nintendo, so I'm kind of excited. But let's just focus on Xbox today, man. One of the things about Xbox, to me, I don't know if they were out of the game, but if they were, this is that fourth quarter comeback, man. I feel like Xbox hit some big shots, during this conference, man. They came out, they acknowledged, first thing they did, they came out the door and acknowledged the gamers. They said, hey, we listened to the gamers, we made the changes y'all asked for, we thank y'all. And to me, that kind of gave them a clean slate. That just kind of put to bed their past and the mistakes they made with the camera and all the other mistakes they had coming out the box. And I think it kind of gave them a break for them to do their conference. So
everything that they did with this conference was a humble approach. You have Phil Spencer up there, which is everybody knows he's the quote unquote gamer of leading the Xbox team. And he just had that real humble approach. It was kind of like, you know what? We goofed up last year. We're not even going to try and swing for the Grand Slam this year. We're not going to overdo it. We're going to get on base. And they succeeded, man. I think Microsoft did everything that they tried to do. And notice, they only mentioned the Kinect once. And that was when they talked about the Disney Fantasia game.
Right. And I think that was a great move, man. Let's distance ourselves from this. Let's not, we've already said enough on it. Why bring it up again? But they were smart to distance themselves from the Kinect. In fact, I read some articles today, or saw an article come out today about more and more about developers being able to turn off the Kinect and use that extra power, the process. So, kudos to Microsoft, man. They did a good job. I gotta say, they did a good job. Now, let's get into the games. All games, baby. Yeah. All games. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
We go right down the list, man. They showed Call of Duty Advanced Warfighter. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
That game looked. It just. Yeah. That game looked gorgeous. It looked gorgeous.
It's funny you say that. I have that in my notes. That's the first word I got written here. Gorgeous.
and I get excited because gorgeous, and then the gameplay as far as just the controls and everything, and it's just going to be on point. So I feel real comfortable knowing that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is a game that I got to have in my catalog. I'm going to pick that game up. It just looked exactly in the direction I wanted them to go.
I'm 50-50.
Well,
and let me tell you why. Now, I agree. The game looked gorgeous. It did. You know what I'm saying? I think some of the toys they give you to play with in this game that were previewed, like that jump boost you had, you know what I'm saying? The mechanical suit that you're wearing, some of the cycle grenade, to me, is innovative. I love it. I don't know if that's real or not, but the fact that I could pull out a grenade and cycle through the different type of whatever blast I wanted to have, I thought that was great. Now, here's what I saw that didn't change, and this is why I'm on this fence, especially for the single player. You still had the AI kind of standing around waiting to get shot. You still had that, what do they call, shooting gallery type feel to it, where I didn't feel like there was a challenge in this game, and that has been. It was great when Call of Duty came out because it wasn't a lot like that in the way they were presenting it. Again, they still have the micro bay explosions and stuff like that. They're not going to get away from that, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But my biggest hit or knock on this was the shooting gallery AI. They were just dumb. They just stood there, and I can't stand that. I need a bigger challenge. In fact, it made me think that the future of video games is probably going back to kind of that old school mentality of making levels that's going to be challenging. You know what I'm saying? AI is going to be hard, and you're actually going to feel like you accomplished something other than just mowing down a bunch of AI. So that was my only.
Because it's a ton of enemies that you're shooting at. So I get that, and I think for me, I'm not as I'm not as harsh about it and that whole concept. Yeah. So that's fine. That's a good point. That's a good point to make. Everything else was all glitz and glamour around me where I didn't even pick up on it because I guess even when I play the game, it doesn't bother me that much. And it's not something as simple as where it's just like, okay, we'll just turn the difficulty up and then the AI is just more advanced. It's not like that. You're right. They do stand in one position and that's where they shoot from. But it's because there's so many guys on the screen. Maybe that's a reason. Maybe they feel like they wanted to, improve everything else around that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming you by the force of numbers. But again, I just kind of hope that I'm looking for a bigger challenge, so smarter AI. The other knock I had on the preview for this game was, do we have to sacrifice the dude, man, at the end of the preview? If you haven't seen the trailer yet, the dude gets his arm stuck. Now they got all this fantastic technology, but they don't have technology that'll stop you from getting your arm trapped.
Should have ripped dude's arm off is what he should have did.
Yeah, well, I thought he was going to do that, but the fact that dude sacrificed himself.
That's what it was about, though, too.
It really was. It really was. And that's the big thing, I guess, if you're in the military, dying for your buddies, jumping on that grenade. I just felt like they gave us Call of Duty Armored Warfare, and they said, okay, here, you'll have the extra cheese on top of it. And again, so That's my thing. I think it's a great game. It's DLC. It's coming to Xbox for the DLC's coming to Xbox first.
The limited exclusivity for the
Right.
DLC, which I usually think it's usually 30 days.
Right, it is. It's only 30 days. It's not a big deal, but I really don't care about that. I think that's bias to the gamer. So, but I understand why they do it. So.
Yep. Then they showed Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah, they did, and I'm not a big racing game person. Actually, before they showed Forza Horizon, they showed Forza Motorsport 5, and they talked about how they had like the most iconic track in the racing track in the world, the Nürburgring. And for you racing fans out there, you probably know what this track is. But apparently they're bringing it to the Xbox, to Forza Motorsports 5, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But the next sports game they did talk about was Forza Horizon 2. And this has some toys, man. This also has some toys.
They always pump the authentic cars, right? That's the thing with it. I think the Horizon is more of an arcadey version of Forza. And okay. I never wanted to actually just mess around with it and play the games. I always avoided the Forza series, but right. And I think at this point for me, I still am with other games coming out that I'm more interested in on the racing side besides Forza. But it looked good. I think if you're a Forza fan and you like Forza Horizon 1, it looks good to me. It looked like it's just more of that, It
is, and they gave you some new toys. They gave you the new Lamborghini that's coming out, dynamic weather.
I like how they had when they had all the cars driving, and then all the cars kept opening their doors up. I was like, oh, that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah, presentation was pretty cool. 200 cars. Over 200 cars in this game. I mean, goodness, you cannot get bored with over 200 cars. That's a lot of toys to play with, man.
Plus they do the you can share custom paints and all that stuff. That was a real big deal in the series.
Right.
There's more cars, more tracks, and then more of a social experience. I think, like I said before, if you're just a big Forza fan, it might just continue to be for you.
Yeah, this is the game for you. Maybe I need to get a racing game and try to get back into something different. So,
well, I told you what I do. I always keep at least one racing game in the rotation. I always own one racing game. And then when the next one comes out, I'll trade the old one in and put it towards the next one.
Spotlight. What racing game you got right now?
I'm still sitting on the Need for Speed.
That ain't new.
That is. That's the last one that came out. That's the last one that came out. I've been waiting on the Crew. And they keep pushing. They push Drive Club back. They push the Crew back. So it's just been in no Need for Speed till next year. So it's it's slow in the racing, but that's okay.
The next game that the Xbox preview was Evolve, and they opened up with this tagline: "The evolution of gaming." I said that's dangerous. In my notes, I wrote down dangerous. Whenever you come out and say you're about to make an evolution in gaming, man, you got to back it up. Kind of like what GTA did, It's next gen now.
It's a big progression in gameplay. The 4 on the Giant 1, I haven't never seen that in any other game.
It didn't look evolutionary to me. It
just that idea though. It's nothing else about it. Just that idea of that 4 hunting the 1. That's all that's supposed to be evolutionary about it. That's it.
But there was another game they previewed later that had similar gameplay. In fact, there were several games that came out later that had a similar multiplayer game, but the one, Fable.
Yeah, but that's more in the veins of and I could be wrong, but it feels like it's more in the veins of like a Dota or anything else like that, where it's just more fantasy. And this is the big game hunt to me. This is And I haven't seen a lot more of the different environments yet, but it just seems like you guys in this case are big game hunters, and that monster is that one. Right, I'm not sure if they mentioned if it's got a single player experience yet, or if it's just going to be online exclusive. I know it's Xbox exclusive, so might be a while before I even get to find out either way, personally.
Right. Well, we'll see. I just think that when you talk about the evolution of gaming, I didn't see it in the preview and the trailer, so it's got to be something where I get my hands on it, and then maybe I could fill it out a little bit more. I'm sure they'll drop some trailers and stuff like that 2 to give us a little bit more preview of the gameplay.
Yeah, they showed a ton of gameplay on it. It's been about 5 different gameplay trailers on it. It isn't. It's just a tagline, man. That's just PR talk.
Right.
It's not changing anything. It's still somebody versus somebody else. So, but it looked good, man. The graphics look great, and I think the idea of you got everybody with their own special skills, and you got to play as a team. You want to take down this monster, you got to play as a team.
Yeah. So it's a tagline, but I just think that's dangerous when you do something like that, man. The next game, to me, I've been very hard on this game because I think there's just too many iterations of this game out already. I didn't think there was anything else to do in this environment they've created, in this world they've created. But as I sat back, and my wife was actually sitting with me. Now, she's a computer gamer. She was sitting with me watching this trailer and this preview, man, and we both sat there with our mouths dropped. And she was like, that's a game I can play. I definitely want to play that game. And that was Assassin's Creed Unity.
Look
good, goodness. It did more than look good, man. It looked...
Well, they did everything right when they previewed it, right? They brought all the guys in at the right time. Everybody, it was like a long shot of a movie, like this big heist, a big assassination scene of a movie where everybody was in the right spot at the right time. The timing was great. Dude walked out on the pole, looked to the other guy on the left, and then when he jumped into the building, the other guy was already coming back around. It was perfect.
Right.
It was perfect. Right. They showed everything perfect, and it went from you being in this big outside open, and then you're inside this building. Seamlessly, they were weaving in and out of all of these giant buildings, and that's next gen, right, man? Right there, man. That's what next gen is all about. It's just that seamless transition into everything. I think I think you hit a great point. There was no stop to load when you went to a building or anything like that. I think that was amazing. But I think what we saw in this conference, as we'll hit on as we continue through this review, is everything was multiplayer, man. Everything was multiplayer. And then you had just a game that is solely based on you being in the dark, in the shadows, and now they made it a 4-player game. And I thought that was amazing, man. I said, man, this is a game I can actually sit and play with my wife and my brothers. And I said, man, and still enjoy it. And it's doing everything that I've been crying for about a co-op, a co-op game. Let me play my single player and let somebody hop in for a quick second or however long, and seamlessly. It doesn't interrupt my experience. It doesn't take away from it. It doesn't change it. It don't manipulate it. It's the same. And we able to enjoy that storyline together, and they showed it in that way. And I said, man, I'm back in. I didn't like the whole, everybody loved the whole boats and everything like that. And when I went to go play the Assassin's Creed 4, right? Was it 4 that came out with the launch?
I think so, man. It's like 12
wasn't into it.
So
I just wasn't into it at all. And I think with this, what was funny about this? Did you notice that the 4 icon colors were the Ninja Turtles?
No, I know. I'm looking at the picture over here, but you're right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was green, purple, orange, and blue. Wait, what are we missing? One? Oh no, green. Green should have been red. So they got close, but I was like, dang, that'd have been hot. But and then did they mention something? I think they said you can customize your character.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You can customize your character. I think that they hit on that. The game takes place during the French Revolution, so there's a lot to do. There's a lot of mean people to kill. Like the way they end this trailer was amazing, with the 4 of you surrounding this dude, and then him being tossed off the balcony.
And the first thing they showed, which was real big in the French Revolution at that time, was instead of hanging people, they had that I think is it the guillotine, the sliding blade that comes down. That was real. It was crazy because I had just watched something on TV that was talking about the way that they used to actually put people on death row and kill them, and that was a big thing during that time in the French Revolution. So I thought that was tight. Everything looked good. The inside looked, the environments looked great. It was just, I was like, man, yeah.
So, I think the thing you touched on the most though was the seamless transition throughout the game. And if they can knock this off the box, man, if they can keep that going, I think they have a head in the hand. To me, I put this down as a must-have video game. for my next gen library. So
now that game though, that's not exclusive. So
no,
does that doesn't boost? Does that do anything for Microsoft?
it doesn't.
Just a showing, right?
Yeah, it's just a showing. It doesn't do anything for Microsoft. There's a game later we'll talk about that I want to mention, but I think for Microsoft, I just let y'all hear me later. There was a game that Microsoft previewed that I think you guys are going to love, that I'm excited to talk about. And you got to understand me. I'm AkimboMerc with the Sony tramp stamp on my back. So if I'm excited about a Microsoft game, you know it's something good. So the next one was Dragon Age. Jay, what'd you think about this game?
At first, I didn't know what it was. Right, so they show the guy crawling on the ground. He's got the middle-aged armor, and it's like, okay, well, what is this? What is this game? And they're going through the whole trailer, and then you see, the other things going on in the environment, and
right.
Then I think weren't they? It ended up being like him and somebody else, and then they were hunting, and so I was just kind of seeing everything play out like that. And by the end of the trailer, it was like Dragon Age, Inquisition, and I could just think of like all my buddies who play Dragon Age. You either like it or you don't. So for them seeing this game that's supposed to have co-op in it, I'm like, man, they're gonna love this game. If you're a big Dragon Age fan, you're gonna love this game. It looks like it will be just more of that Dragon Age experience. And
I played the last Dragon Age, and I gotta admit, I couldn't get into it. It just felt too tedious of a game for me.
The controls are a little funky too, ain't it? They felt a little stiff at some point.
Yeah, controls a little funky, and I don't know. At that time, I guess I wasn't into that type of RPG type game. It's funny because then I went out and got Skyrim, and I love Skyrim. But I will be honest with you, I haven't played Skyrim in probably 2 months, and I'm nowhere near beating the end of the story. Sometimes these cave crawlers can be tedious for me sometimes and repetitive. So
and that's that like it or don't. I think
that's exactly what it is. And again, I think there's a lot that's going on. Dragons to me are just like zombies. There's a bunch of zombie games out there. There's a bunch of dragon games out there. And after a while, they all just kind of wash and mix together, and I can't tell one from the other. And there's really no way for these games to stand out. I mean, you can make your dragons look great, your worlds look great, but at the end of the day, my sword, your dragon. I feel like I've done this before. So,
all right. Next they showed Sunset Overdrive, which is an Xbox exclusive, which has been getting a lot of hype. I've been seeing a lot of the different video game journalists write about the game, podcast about the game, and like I said, it's just been getting a lot of hype. And I finally got to see a trailer with it, and I saw the intro. You get the intro, you get the video, you get the guy pumping it up, tell you what the story is about. It's about an energy drink that's basically infecting everybody, and you basically cleaning up the city. And it's almost like he's not rollerblading, but he's got metal shoes and he's skating along all the rails, and he's got different parts of the environment that's bouncy, and the animation was like nothing else that you're really seeing out there. And I think a big draw for people of this game is that it's made by Insomniac, the guys who made Ratchet and Clank. So it's got a big name behind it.
You nailed it. And I'm watching this trailer with my son, and of course he's excited about it because it's a very colorful game.
So it was catching his eye.
Yeah, okay. The game pops, and it caught his eye. But the first word out of his mouth was Infamous. I said, yeah, you know what? He's on the roof in a lawn chair. That's kind of what dude was doing in Infamous. He's jumping and sliding. Yeah, his buddy. But he's riding the different ropes and rails, kind of like Infamous as well. And then it hit me. I said, oh, this looks like Infamous, because they talked about the customization of your character, customization of your guns. I said, this is Infamous meets Ratchet and Clank for adult. That's what it felt like to me instantly. Now, if you took those two games and mashed them together, that's what you'll get.
Now, I feel like though I think they showed the wrong trailer during the conference, because they released another trailer later on in the day, and it was more in a nighttime environment, and it actually showed that 8-player co-op system that they have involved with the game. And it looked, it was at nighttime, and like all the colors and everything was just vibrant, and just you get a lot of particle effects and the goo when you shoot the monsters and everything like that. And I was like, man, now that looks good. I was like, So everything they showed during the conference, I was like, I'm still not getting the hype. But when I saw the later trailer, I was like, man, that looked good. That game looked real fun.
Well, I wrote down in my notes, man. The first impressions were I got fresh. Okay, this game felt fresh, and what was fresh about it was the way they poked fun at all the military shooters out there in this particular trailer. The dude comes in, he kind of invades that military behind guy, hide behind the box.
I didn't know what game that they were showing. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I didn't know what game they were showing either. And then, he kicks butt and all of that. But he did it old school Batman style. So when Batman and Robin used to fight like the Joker or the Riddler, and they punch somebody, and you kind of get that bam,
that ping, pow, boom,
zoop. Yeah. I said, okay, that's kind of new. I like you brought the comic book to the video game. I kind of like that. But I love the fact that they poked fun at the military shooters that are out there, man.
Yeah.
And so, I heard them mention the 8-player online game. This game is coming out in October. So, again, this is another one of those games where if they can execute it right, it can be very fun. It's a hack and slash. Just going to let y'all know. That's all it is, man.
Well, it's more of a run and gun, ain't it?
Is it a run and gun meets a hack and slash?
I didn't see him do any hacking, though. I mean, it had that Dead Rising feel to it, kind of almost, where it's just, a lot of these monsters through the environment. But even when he was like riding the roller coaster up, and then the guys was on this building, he blew the building up, and I was like, man, it just looked great. Do you buy it though? Do I spend $60 on this? I think I don't. I don't. It looks good, looks fun, but I can't see myself putting 60 on this.
No, I can't see myself putting 60 on it. Actually, I can't even see myself renting it. It's just not a game that's going to fall into my library.
Not for me, like you. But Nick, I think your son would love it, man.
And you took the words out of my mouth. I think this is something that I would feel comfortable with him playing. You're not shooting other people. You're shooting. Well, there are other people, but they're more zombies or aliens.
Yeah, they're infected.
They're infected. Yeah. So the break is there as far as a kid playing a shooter game. So
yeah, and I just like the cartoon style of it too. It's different.
Me too. And he seemed excited about it because he's a big Infamous fan, loves Infamous. So if this reminds him of Infamous, I can definitely get it. Now, you mentioned Dead Rising, which was the next game that they showed, and I got excited. Dead Rising was dead in the water. I'm just going to be real about it, man. Dead Rising was again, like I said, one of those zombie games where here you go, more hacking and slashing the zombies, but man, you could play as cosplayers of the Capcom
what
world.
Was it the Super Ultra Dead Rising Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha? I was like, okay, I get it. All right, I'm crazy. Yeah. I get it. Y'all got me. That was cool. You know what? Give it a title. Give it a crazy title like that. And it's a DLC, but is it a standalone DLC or do you have to have the game? Did they mention one way or another?
I think it was a standalone, but it was an exclusive too.
Yeah, because Dead Rising being exclusive to the Xbox One. So that's three big exclusive games that they announced.
Yeah, the price on this game I think is going to be the big difference of whether or not people play it or not. I love the fact that they showed you switching through all the Capcom characters, man. You can play as whoever you want to play. That was crazy.
That was cool. Yeah.
Is it a gimmick?
Nah. Because it's Capcom, and that's what they do. They'll mix their characters up in other genres of the games.
Man, this is definitely a gimmick, and I think it's a
for
great
a game like
gimmick.
Dead Rising. Not for Dead Rising.
This is, to me, Dead Rising was one of those games. Again, zombie game. You already dropped 2 of them. What can we do different? You brought in.
This isn't different though. Dead Rising's always done the crazy costumes that your character can wear while you play. That's why it's not really a gimmick. This is something that they've already done. But instead of them making generic costumes, let's just take characters from other franchises, i.e. Street Fighter, and put them in our Dead Rising game. That's big.
All right. Well, listeners, you let me know what you think. To me, this felt exciting because we all grew up playing Street Fighter, so we know the characters that you could play as. But
I think if you were more of a Dead Rising fan, you would appreciate it a little bit more.
I watched my son play it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was kind of silly, personally. But it came across to me as kind of gimmicky, but yet fun. So if they make it a right price, $14, I can see me opening my wallet, getting this. How much are the Xbox Live games on average?
On the Xbox One, it hasn't really been many. It's not like it used to be on the 360. They don't have Xbox Arcade on the Xbox One.
Okay.
So it just depends on the game itself, and usually the smaller build games, because they don't call them arcade anymore. The smaller build games are $10-15. But this is that's why I wasn't sure if it was a standalone or if it was, a DLC that you needed the game originally. I think it's a standalone, and I think it's probably gonna go for $15.
I'm looking at the article. It's a standalone, and you're getting DLC later on this year. The cool thing about it was this game is out now, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I wrote. Yeah, this game is out now, so
that's cool.
So I mean, if you're into Dead Rising, it's a good game to pick up. The next game they touched on was Dance Central. Let's dance around that.
The big point on that though is that's your only Connect mention, right? But let's mention the game that you need Connect to play that everybody enjoys. So that kind of keeps Connect alive for them. And then I still had to applaud the guy that went out there for Fantasia, man, for representing Harmonix, because it takes big cojones to get out there knowing that this platform no longer has the Connect attached to it, and you were promised that large fan base to be there, and now it's no longer there, and you still got to go stand up in this conference and say we got these two amazing games that require Connect. So
do you think that now the Connect is not required, that it's going to die out?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, man, that's huge.
And they know it. And if you buy the Connect on the PC, it's $200.
So if that's the case, does the same go for the iToy?
No, because the iToy is $50. I can go on Amazon right now and get an iToy for $50.
Okay, so pricing has a lot to do whether or not somebody
thing to do with it. I think so.
Not games.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for you Dance Central fans, one of the things the guy did say is that they will be able to get new songs out to you faster. So I don't know if that was a big problem in the past, or maybe you just kind of got tired of the same material. But apparently they're fixing this, so now you can get new songs loaded to your game faster, so you can shake your booty too.
Yep. All right. So moving on, they got Fable Legends. I saw it. I wasn't too impressed by it. Not in the way that they were doing it.
No.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that impressed me about Fable Legends, man, was the fact that you can play as a villain and set up this board against 4 of your friends. I thought that was innovative, right? Isn't that?
Does it get old?
This is right along the lines of the purist who played the board game. Is it Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
This is right up their alley, man. This is it, where you have the dungeon master or whatever who controls the game, and this is perfect. So I think there is a niche audience out there for this game. It will not get old to them as long as they continue to add more content,
and that's the key.
Keep it fresh. So
that's the key.
I thought it was innovative in the fact that you let me actually have some input into the design of the game. I think that's great. And there's a game coming up later that does it as well. Actually, it was the next game that they previewed.
The Project Spark.
Project Spark. I almost passed up watching this, but my son, again, he was sitting next to me. He was like, "Oh, Project Spark." I'm like, "All right, let me watch it."
You got to pay attention to Project Spark though, because I think this is originally what Microsoft wanted to do when they actually invented the Xbox. What's the one where you can make where they actually gave kits where you can create games on your own on the Xbox. I think this is what their true idea was, because Project Spark gives them better tools, and it looks and it's a lot of the things that they were showing coming out of that Project Spark, man. A lot of that stuff looked really good. It looked good, dude. I was like, holy cow.
For you gamers, so Project Sparks, just kind of give you an idea what it is. This was Little Big Planet for adults. Not even for adults, but Little Big Planet evolved.
This is on more of a if Little Big Planet is a city, this is a country. You got to compare it like that, because Project Spark, you don't have to make the same kind of game. Little Big Planet, you were making, you could do different puzzle activities and stuff like that in Little Big Planet. This is, you can make different games.
Yeah, and that's what was
within
amazing.
This world. They showed it.
Right. And this is what I was screaming about: innovation, 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 innovation. Give me something new. Even if you fall flat on your face, at least you try. This game, this is a must buy for me. Now, I might buy a used, but it's a must buy for me because I like to create. And this game seems like it's going to give you all the tools you need to go out and create levels. Now, again,
will you be able to find it used? It might be a digital download only because of the type of game that it is.
Okay. But I'll still buy it. But here's the thing that concerns me about this. You get a lot of user content available to you where you're just kind of you're drudging through the mud where, man, this level sucks. This mission sucks. Why do they let this out here? This is dumb.
You kill that with a rating system, and it's going to be vetted. A lot of that stuff look like it's going to be vetted first, too.
Okay. I think that's probably be the most important thing for this game then is making sure that the good levels are out there. I see GTA do it with the certified missions, but there's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of drudge through. And the same was with Little Big Planet. You can kind of get overwhelmed with the things that are available as far as you playing. So.
All right, one of the next games that they showed too that was real cool. I thought was cool to me was kind of the predecessor to Limbo, which was a 2D puzzle game. It was a black and white 2D puzzle game, which was, man, that game was really, really good. It's called Inside.
Now, so is Limbo the game with the shadows, like the black and white shadows?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the shirt that Phil Spencer had on, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And the Inside, man, I think the Inside is taking Limbo to the next level. Like the animations and just the environment, and it seems like it's got like kind of a zombie factory feel.
This game didn't look like a game. This game didn't seem like it played like a game. This felt like a Disney movie that I was in.
Yep. It looked good. You didn't play Limbo, did you?
No, I didn't play Limbo. But I know the game you're talking about.
Yeah. This is a buy. I have to pick up Inside. It just going off Limbo, this looks that good.
Well, not even going off Limbo, just the experience that this game gave me emotionally.
Yep. That's what Limbo did to you too.
Yeah. This invoked something in me emotionally. I don't know what the heck it was. You know what? It felt like, it really felt like I was watching an old school Disney movie when I was a kid, man. Something like 1,001 Dalmatians, or I don't know. It just kind of had that feel to it. Invoked that into me. The characters, the way they were drawn, the color scheme, the little boy looking through the glass, the other little dude running and marching. Remember he was marching.
And you hear the sound, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, that's the game. I'm like, okay, I see what they're trying to do.
Right. Yep. And I wrote one word down for this. I just wrote sweet.
Yeah.
This game felt
that's
sweet
all you need. Yep.
Yeah, this game felt sweet. So definitely, this is a buy or a rent. I think this is a game that I think is going to struggle with. It's a puzzle platformer. So I don't know how about the replay value, but it's definitely a game that I would rent and like to check out.
Games like that, they don't have that replay value. You kind of go through them, conquer them, experience them, and that's why they $10-15 bucks.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to share this experience with some of my other gamers out there and be like, yeah, I played that, and it felt weird, creepy.
All right. And then, man, they show you see this. The next game they show, you see this person, they talking, they sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden they running, and they got this hood on, and then they being chased by something screaming at them, and then they jump across, and I automatically knew. I said, "Oh my God, this is Lara Croft. This is Tomb Raider. This is coming back, new gen.
Yes.
It looked good." I'm like, okay, when it come out next year, I was like, all right, that's cool, whatever. And then I saw the title.
Year. 2015 holiday next year.
But that's 2 years. That's that 2 year cycle.
Right.
That I wish Nintendo would do. But that's another story for another day.
Uh-oh, that was a shot. Folks.
The title.
The bow.
It said Rise of the Tomb Raider. I said, go ahead, Laura. Come on,
baby. And this gives it, a title alone says, okay, this is the next game. We rebooted this game. This is the next iteration of this game. The Rise of the Tomb Raider. So it gives you that feeling of, okay, she's growing. She's going to mature in this game. And I think that's what you're going to get with this game is your character. I love games that have great characters that you can get in touch with. I'm looking forward to this, man. This is another must have. This is a must-have on my list.
And you just get to see that they haven't forgot about the last game and the struggle that she's been through. And her character shows it when she hits that cave and that guy's in there and she don't want him in there, she take him out. And that's what, you know, we're used to. And they kind of like, they're like, yeah, that's what you're going to get. So.
But let's stay on this. Let's stay on this game for a minute, man. I think they took an iconic video game character. So we knew Laura for 2 reasons. As a pun there, people.
3.
Okay. What's the third?
The third is her kicking ass. The other 2 is what you was talking about.
Right. So we did 3 reasons why we knew Laura. She was innovative, and when we had a tough video game girl that came out, she asked me, you were raiding tombs, which was great. She had great gunplay, had great climbing, and it was just a good game. And then it lost its way. The controllers got wonky. Some of the storylines got kind of wonky. You know, they came out with some classics, threw it back out there, kind of a money grab. And then they decided to say, look, Laura's a smart, intelligent character. Let's treat her as such. Let's give her a pass. Let's show her growth from beginning to where she was. And I just think they did a great job, man. I think they continue to do a great job with her design. She looks respectable now. She looks intelligent,
tough, man.
And she's a badass.
Don't play with
her. Badass, right? What's an equivalent? Drake. This is the Drake of Uncharted. This is the female version of Drake.
Well, to me, this is where Drake came from. She did it first.
Yes, she did it first, but Drake perfected it, and now we get back to Laura, who's building off of what Drake did. Come on, man, you can't take away from the Uncharted games.
No, I think both games stand real high.
Yeah. So, what you got next?
The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. I don't have too much to comment on that. I never played the first 2 Witchers. They look real good. The hype, you know, you hear the hype. But I love that in the video that they showed in the scene was like, okay, there's this big monster. So I guess in this game, I'm unfamiliar with the series, but you know, Wild Hunt, he's hunting down creatures that are basically dangerous to you know, everyone in the land. And you know, they showed you put these trackers on them, which basically makes them bleed, and you track them through the blood that he's leaving across the land and the trees, and you still run into other guys, and then you still actually fighting people. So I said, man, that looked tight. Witcher 3 guaranteed rent for me, and if it turned out good, I'll buy it. It looked like it got a lot of legs in it.
What you think about the graphics?
It looked good. Somebody said what was it? I can't remember, so I'm not even gonna say. But the graphics look good. The frame rate was a little iffy, but
off, right? Yeah, something was off about this when they presented it. I don't know if the graphics looked a little watered down compared to some of the other games we have been seeing.
Yeah,
especially some of the other games that play within this genre, where you got the guy with the sword hunting down big beasts, dragons or not.
I didn't like when they did the close up on him when he was talking to the chick after he rescued her. The close up on him, it didn't look right. When it kind of panned out a little bit, then you could see the hair start to move, but his face looked stale and stagnant, and it didn't look right. So hopefully, I'm sure they got plenty of time. It don't come out till next year, so you give them a chance to clean it up.
Yeah, and if they're listening to our podcast, then they definitely should be able to correct it. So
next was a game I don't remember. It's called Phantom Dust, but everybody else seemed to from the original Xbox. It looked like a game that I might not be interested in. That's all I got on it.
Yeah, you know what? And I looked at it for all of like 10 seconds. Was like next.
Yeah, I don't ever remember that game. But then they showed they showed I think it was like a 3-4 minute clip of The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division. Man.
Folks, I am clapping. If that's what you hear in the background, I am waiting for this game. I am. If you like Skyrim, you like dungeon crawling, this is my dungeon crawler. But this is what makes this game great is I get to do it with my brothers. I get to do it with my friends. The technology is there. The weapons, the gunplay was there. I hate that they pushed this game back, but I also love that they did because I want it to be excellent. This is a game that if it was an exclusive, I would buy the system just to play this game. This is everything I want. This in a game.
This and The Crew was the 2 biggest games that they showed that should have been launch games. And now that we see with Watch Dogs, okay, they pushed them back. Now I'm comfortable with games being pushed back if I'm getting that level of quality. And the division look like it's going to bring it too, man.
It does, man. And some of the things that stuck out to me, it's in New York City again. It's a virus outbreak. But again, 4 players, you have a personal base. And that's what they were trying to get to in this particular game walkthrough that we were watching. You can all do on-the-fly skill changes. Excellent. There's some sweet technology. It's an open world. I was excited. I loved it. I can't wait to see what else they do with it. There was another trailer they showed where I think you were trying to get guns in a police station. And then the guy does some cool things with the cop car opening and closing the door. It doesn't sound like a lot, but in these type of military quote unquote shooters, that's huge.
I think as long as the purpose is there, right? Because the game looks repetitive. As long as the purpose and the goal and where they're leading you in the game is interesting, then it's gonna be a hit. So
yeah, I never thought about it being repetitive.
Well, it's the same thing, right? It's you in an apocalypse, I can't never say that word.
Two-apocalypse.
Right. But basically after disaster, post-disaster game, and it's just you and your crew, and then y'all, basically traveling through the city to do whatever. That's what to me, that's where it's repetitive, because you're in the streets and then you shoot. You're in the streets and you get here and you shoot. It's got to be, why am I shooting? Why am I going there, here? What am I doing? If that's fresh, then the game will be successful to me, as opposed to as a waste.
But isn't that the knock on all open world games after a while?
It is, and that's why Watch Dogs was good, because I feel like Watch Dogs had a lot of different things for you to do that were new and fresh.
But I think 3 months from now, that knock is going to raise its head, and Watch Dogs, you're going to have people say, I did it before. I mean, as video game players, we're very fickle. We like to move on to the next lights and whistles and bells and shiny things that are coming out. And that's why I think you have a lot of games that hold back some DLC that could have been dropped in the original game, but they hold it back to kind of keep the life of the video game alive.
That's just money.
For that, well, I'm not going to say money is not a part of it. I'm always, be conspiracy theory guy, cash grab. But I think also it's like bumping up a post on a forum. You want to keep something up, keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it in players.
It used to just be the sequel gave you everything you didn't get in the last game. I'm not going to talk about DLC. DLCs get me real.
It's a whole show. It's a whole show by itself. Huh?
Yep.
All right, we'll say that for later.
Right. One more game, and we get to the last one, and we get out of here. My game, my personal favorite that's deep down in my heart is Crackdown.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I about lost it when I saw Crackdown, man. I lost it.
Hey, I wrote down, it looks sweet. That was my first impression. Man. But this your game. Go ahead and talk about it, man.
Man, the idea that they bring it back to co-op, they showing you that it's 4-player co-op, and everybody could play a different part in taking down the main boss, and how it took 4 guys to bring down this crazy giant building. It's everything that Crackdown to me is
crack. Apparently.
It is crack. The first Crackdown, everybody's like, oh, the only reason I'm getting Crackdown is so I can get the Halo 3 beta, and then you play it and you like, oh my God, this game is fun as hell. Right? So Crackdown becomes that cult classic, and then they do Crackdown 2 and it's a bust. That's a money grab. That Crackdown 2 now is like, okay, well, it should have been DLC for Crackdown 1.
Right.
So that go against my argument on that. But man, seeing like what they doing with this, they bring it back. It used to be 2-player, now it's 4-player for the co-op campaign, and it's just big explosions, guns. The dude came out with the ship. He was flying with the ship, shooting at the building. I said, man, that's everything I miss. I'm excited about Crackdown. It's just gonna be my game, man, and just to finally know that the rumors are true and they brought it back, that's a buy for me. To me, I'll go out and get the Xbox for Crackdown if they're gonna make it as big as.
Wait a minute. Yep. This is your Xbox seller right here. This game.
This and we might as well get into it. This and the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yes. Let me kick your game before we go on to Halo, which is the highlight of this conference. My only concern about Crackdown was because I played the first. When I watched you play the first one, I bought the second one to play. Either my son loved it or I wanted to play with you. Anyway, the story and then the character, they were both boring and flat. And so that's my only concern with the Crackdown is your main character or characters this time. What are they like? What's the story about? Is it going to be something that's captivating?
Well, in the second Crackdown, they just like after now, like wanting that game and then playing it and realizing like, yuck, you didn't give me a new city. You didn't do a lot that changed everything that the first Crackdown did. So I can understand. It should have been, let's play the first one first, with hopes of the second one being as good. But I think with this one, to me, the story's always been you were this agent, you were this super cop in this city, and you worked for the corporation. But it was all wrong. That's not what it was really about. You were actually getting duped by this main guy, the main voiceover that you hear in the game. And now it just sounds like, after you took out all the gangs, they're back. So you got these kingpins and all the different sections that you got to go after. You build your character up, getting all these super abilities. And then while you get the super abilities, you get the better guns, you get the better cars. And I'm sure with the original creator, Dave Jones, coming back on this game, man, they're going to blow it wide open. I'm sure they're going to show different abilities. You saw your man shoot down the sight with the gun. He's shooting from a long way, too.
Yeah, that was nice.
With the ship, they got the new ships. Dude drove the truck into the building. I see a lot of destructible environments, which is also going to change the feel of the game, too. So
Right. And, but I didn't see cutscenes, and I think that's what
that was a cutscene.
Okay.
I put my money on it. That was a cutscene.
Okay, that's what I felt like. Cutscenes help. They have their place in video games because they help you. They draw you into the story. You need some explanation as to what's going on other than this narrator talking cool and saying silly things as you jump across buildings.
Go kick ass, agent.
Yeah.
That's my boy, though. He was funny and he was good in the game. Whoever that is, man, he was good in the game. I like the main voiceover guy.
Right. No, he was cool. I'm just saying it wasn't enough to tell me what the heck I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I was just jumping around as a super agent. So you mentioned it. This is the game to me of our show. To me, it was a highlight of Microsoft conference. It was Halo. In any way that you could find, see, hear, taste, smell, Halo.
So what did we get? We got three things, right? We got preview.
Oh, they fed you.
Of Halo 5 Guardian with a new character.
Yes.
It looks like with this character, you're basically going through the story of Master Chief, and you got to go find him and rescue him. So maybe they might do what they did with I think it was Halo 2 and Halo 3, where you had the Arbiter and you were switching back and forth between the Arbiter and Master Chief. I didn't like that, but this character's human.
Yeah.
Well, he's human, but they didn't say if he was a Spartan or not. So,
from what I understood, it's the end of this story takes place at the end of Halo 4. Okay, and you're looking for Master Chief, and as you're looking for him, you're going through the past and the future of Master Chief's journey, which sounds good. I hope they do it right. I hope you don't find some stuff that's repetitive that you did already. But Halo 5 to me was something you put on the counter and you get to it later. Because to me, that wasn't the highlight of Halo. The highlight of the Halo at this conference to me was the Halo Master Chief Collection.
And that's why you got 90% of that and 10% Halo 5.
Yeah, and it was good because I think Halo Master Chief Collection, if you don't own an Xbox One now, this is the seller. This is what they wanted Titanfall to be. This is the game as I sat here and said, oh my God, I think I might have to buy an Xbox One 2 to get this game because they're giving you Halo 1, Halo 2, CE. I got to know here, it says Z. What is that? The CE Combat Evolved.
You don't. Yeah, you get Halo 1, Combat Evolved.
Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4.
Halo 3 and 4. Now, what was the biggest thing you think about all of that? I know what I think the biggest thing was about all of that.
I took some notes because I was excited. This is the things I heard. You get all the unlocks. Oh, that is excellent. So everything is unlocked. You get to play the new maps that are revamped. They have the new updated graphics. Then they have the classic graphics. They got the new engine. They got the old engine. They have 6 of the original maps. They have over 100 multiplayer maps total. That is mind blowing. That's mind blowing there.
Every single multiplayer map that came out with the 4 games.
Yes.
And they stressed that they're all going to be played in their original fashion. You're not going to be on a Halo 2 map playing in a Halo Reach, Halo 4 style. It's Halo 2 style, dual wielding. That's
amazing.
Dude, that's right amazing. There, you just blew everybody's minds. You just confirmed everything that everybody needed to hear about the rumor on this collection.
I don't think there's a game coming out this Christmas that could compete with Halo Master Chief Collection. I'm just going to put that out there.
Now that they bumped Batman back.
Batman wouldn't have stood a chance against this. There is nothing coming out that is going to give you the amount of content.
No, not like that. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Content and gameplay and experience that you're going to get with Master Chief. And then they kick you down with 4,000 gamer score credits or points or whatever it is you guys do over there on Xbox, man. This is just amazing.
Plus one of the best things that they could have done and I would have never thought about was they give you the option. They say you can play from Halo 1 to Halo 4 and it will be one single seamless experience or you can pick give me all the tank modes, give me all the chase modes, give me all the sniper modes. Let me just play those in a row if I feel like playing those. I said, oh my goodness.
Yes. You can make custom playlists. And I'm just sitting back here. I think my son looked over and wiped some drool from my chin because, man, guys, you don't understand. Halo was a game I did go out and buy after somebody donated me an Xbox. I bought that. And I enjoyed Halo. Actually sat down and beat, I think Halo 3 is what it was. I enjoyed it. This makes me want to go out and get a freaking Xbox again just to play the game, man.
I told you I'm trading in the 360 and the Vita and the PS3. I'm gonna give me an Xbox One before the end of the year. I promise myself that.
I think this Halo Master Chief Collection is going to push Sony. Push Xbox One sales. It's going to catch up to Sony. I'm just talking out the side of my neck here. That's what I think this game is going to do. It's going to sell units. It's going to move units at Christmas time. I think you're going to see a jump in sale of the hardware. I'm geeked.
System seller, right?
Yeah, this is a system seller without question. This is
now
a little Titanfall out the water.
So now for Christmas, you got to release that bundle. You got to release that Halo Master Chief Collection bundle. That might be the one I go get now. Go get the bundle. Give me the special controller, the Halo Master Chief controller, all that stuff. Yeah. And so, any last comments on that?
Yeah, look, I can see people who already have an Xbox One buying the Xbox One bundle just so they can have 2 in the house, so their 2 kids or their husband and wife can play
and be playing Halo.
This is a system. Yes, this is a system seller. Call of Duty, beware. Grand Theft Auto, beware. Xbox, man, they're back. This is it. They had a great conference.
Yeah, so
this to me was a killer.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up as a whole. Microsoft conference. Not blanking out. We ain't seen PlayStation. We ain't seen Nintendo. Let's just forget that for the moment. Microsoft conference only. How do you feel about it as a whole, real quick?
If I had a scale, if there was a Power Pellet podcast scale, and it was rated 1 to 5, this was a 5.
I agree.
This was a 5. This was simple. It was clean.
Yep.
Like I said, they started off the conference with putting to rest the issue they dealt with. They did the thing they should have did from the beginning. They acknowledged gamers. That's all we want. We want our voice heard. And the games that they dropped with all the multiplayers and all the you can create your own experience, they nailed it. They nailed it.
They said it. Games. It wasn't a lot of talking in it. And when they did talk, it was cool. but it was primarily games. I think they intended to get on base, like I said earlier, and by accident, and they knocked it out the park.
Man,
it was good. I give them an A, man.
I do too. I give them
an A. They did a really good job. So,
yeah.
Real quick, next episode. Hopefully tomorrow we give y'all our feedback on the Sony PlayStation conference, everything that we saw in there, and everything that our opinions on how we feel about it.
Yep.
So
thanks for listening.
Yep. Any last words?
Woo woo, Halo.
Woo, woo. Yep. Don't forget, you guys can reach us on Twitter, Power Pellet Podcast. Also on YouTube, Power Pellet Podcast. You can find me on Twitter, Davench Tsunami. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, AkimboMerc. He's not on Facebook, actually. But you can find the Power Pellet Podcast on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. Also, we are looking for a young lady. Yeah. Hold on, let me get my midnight soul voice. We're looking for a young lady who's interested in joining the podcast to come on and talk gaming news with us.
Yes. To kind of round out the cast, we are looking for a female lead in the Power Pellet Podcast. Somebody looking to join the show who can record usually during the nighttime with us. Looking for a female gamer who follows the industry and who also is able to play different genres of game, not just one type, anything specific. So if that is you, or if you know anybody, lead them in our direction, and they can reach us at Twitter. Also, they can reach us at powerpellet@gmail.com.
It's Power Pellet Podcast,
Pellet Podcast @gmail.com.
You stand corrected, yes. Or Facebook. Hit me on Facebook. I'm on there every day, all day. So I look forward for your feedback. Check out the page, man. I'm constantly dropping gaming news, articles on there, memes, whatever. I'm telling you, there's a lot of content out there for you. We want to be that source for you, but we want to hear back from you. We want to interact with you. We want to shoot the fat with you. You know what I'm saying? I might even get on and run a little Call of Duty with you. You know what I'm saying? So hit us up. Let's get to know each other.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we want to thank y'all for downloading the podcast. Again, next episode's Sony PlayStation's press conference at E3. We're going to do a recap and give our opinions on that. And again, we